Good morning students, myself Maushmi Prasad and creator of this channel Digital Generation. This channel is regarding chapter wise preparation for both ICSE and CBSE students. I hope you will get best explanation and knowledge from this channel. Today I am going to tell you about oxidation and reduction. Oxidation and reduction occur together and they are opposite to one another. This is also known as redox reaction in short form. Redox means reduction and oxidation. Now there are two concepts regarding oxidation and reduction. One on the basis of oxygen and hydrogen. What is oxidation? Oxidation means addition of oxygen or removal of hydrogen is known as oxidation. And reduction, addition of hydrogen and removal of oxygen is known as reduction. Now while coming across oxidation reduction, you will come across two terms, reducing agent and oxidizing agent. So what is oxidizing agent? Oxidizing agent is that substance which supplies oxygen or removes hydrogen from the chemical reaction. And reducing agent is that substance which supplies hydrogen and removes oxygen from the chemical reaction. Or in simple way you can say that the substance which is reduced or undergoes reduction reaction is oxidizing agent, and the substance which is oxidized or undergoes oxidation reaction is just reducing agent. It means the substance which is reduced is oxidizing agent and the substance which is oxidized is reducing agent. Now let us take an example. If copper oxide reacts with hydrogen, now what happens? Copper oxide is black color powder. This happens in this reaction. Copper plus hydrogen oxide means water is formed. Now see in this reaction what is happening. Copper is giving up oxygen and forming copper. This means removal of oxygen. So removal of oxygen means reduction reaction. So copper is going reduction reaction. And hydrogen, what is happening to hydrogen? Hydrogen is combining with oxygen means addition of oxygen. Addition of oxygen means oxidation reaction. Now I told you that the substance which goes reduction reaction is oxidizing agent. So copper oxide is oxidizing agent. Again you can explain that the substance which provides oxygen to the reaction is oxidizing agent. So copper oxide is oxidizing agent, and hydrogen which is responsible for removing oxygen from copper oxide is reducing agent. So hydrogen is reducing agent. So it is clear, copper oxide is undergoing reduction reaction is oxidizing agent, and hydrogen is undergoing oxidation reaction and is reducing agent. Now take us another example. When H2S gas reacts with chlorine. Now what's happening here? Sulfur plus 2HCl is formed. See in this reaction. So H2S is losing hydrogen and is formed sulfur. Losing of hydrogen or removal of hydrogen is known as oxidation. So H2S is undergoing oxidation reaction. And chlorine is adding with hydrogen. So adding of hydrogen is known as reduction reaction. So chlorine will form 2HCl is reduction reaction. Thus from here we can see that H2S is undergoing oxidation reaction and chlorine is undergoing reduction reaction. Now oxidizing agent. Which one is oxidizing agent? H2S which is undergoing reduction, H2S which is undergoing oxidation reaction is reducing agent because it is giving hydrogen in the reaction. So H2S is reducing agent. And chlorine is responsible for removing of hydrogen or reacts with hydrogen to form 2HCl. So adding of hydrogen is known as oxidizing agent. Thus chlorine is oxidizing agent. So from this example what we get, that H2S undergoes oxidation reaction and is reducing agent, and chlorine undergoes reduction reaction and is oxidizing agent. Okay. Now take another example. Another example is when zinc oxide reacts with carbon. This reaction is very important in extraction of zinc from zinc oxide, and this is known as calcination. You will learn more about this in the chapter metal and non-metal. Now see what happened in this chapter. In this example, we have taken zinc oxide and carbon. Now what is happening? Okay, I'm going smaller way. Zinc oxide plus carbon. Zinc plus carbon monoxide is formed. Zinc oxide is undergoing reduction reaction. And the substance which undergoes a reduction reaction is oxidizing agent. Thus, zinc oxide is oxidizing agent, or it is giving oxygen in the reaction. So it is oxidizing agent. Again, take the example of carbon. Carbon combines with oxygen given by the zinc oxide and forms carbon monoxide. So carbon undergoes oxidation reaction, and as it combines with oxygen, it is removing oxygen from zinc oxide. So it is reducing agent. Thus, from here we get that zinc oxide undergoes reduction reaction and forms zinc, and it is oxidizing agent. Zinc oxide is oxidizing agent, and carbon, which undergoes oxidation reaction and forms carbon monoxide, is reducing agent. And now another and last example of oxidation reaction, when manganese dioxide combines with hydrochloric acid. See what happens. Magnesium chloride plus chlorine plus 2H2O is formed. Now see in this reaction, magnesium dioxide is giving oxygen and forming magnesium chloride. So it is, as it is giving oxygen, so it is reduction reaction. Thus, magnesium dioxide is undergoing reduction reaction, and the substance which undergoes reduction reaction is oxidizing agent. So MnO2 is oxidizing agent. Now see in this example, MnO2 manganese dioxide undergoes reduction reaction and forms MnCl2 magnesium chloride, and hydrogen chloride, which loses hydrogen or removes hydrogen, gives off hydrogen to form chlorine. By definition, removal of hydrogen is known as oxidation reaction. So hydrochloric acid undergoes oxidation reaction, and the substance which undergoes oxidation reaction is reducing agent. So it is clear from here that manganese dioxide undergoes reduction reaction and it is oxidizing agent, whereas hydrochloric acid undergoes oxidation reaction and it is reducing agent. Now another concept of oxidation and reduction. Another concept of oxidation and reaction is based on metal and non-metal. Addition of non-metal and removal of metal is known as oxidation reaction, and addition of metal and removal of non-metal is known as reduction reaction. See this example. When copper reacts with oxygen, what is happening here? Copper oxide, black color copper oxide powder is formed. Now see, according to the basis of metal and non-metal, copper combines with non-metal, oxygen is non-metal. So copper combines with non-metal and undergoes oxidation reaction. And oxygen, what is happening to oxygen? Oxygen is combining with metal, copper. So it is reduction reaction. So in this reaction what happened? Copper undergoes oxidation reaction and thus it is reducing agent. And oxygen undergoes reduction reaction as it is combining with metal copper, and so oxygen is oxidizing agent. So here what we have seen? We have seen that copper undergoes oxidation reaction and forms copper oxide, and thus copper is also reducing agent here. And oxygen undergoes reduction reaction and so it is oxidizing agent as it is combining with the metal copper. Now take another example. If copper powder, which is formed in the above example, is passed through, copper oxide is passed through hydrogen. Now what happens? Copper plus water is formed. See, copper is transformed to copper oxide is transformed to copper, giving up of oxygen. So what is giving up of non-metal? So giving up of non-metal means reduction reaction. Thus here copper oxide undergoes reduction reaction and so copper oxide is oxidizing agent. And here hydrogen is responsible for removal of copper from copper oxide, and thus removal of metal is known as oxidation reaction. And the substance which undergoes oxidation reaction is reducing agent. So from here what we get, that copper oxide undergoes reduction reaction as it is giving up non-metal oxygen and forms copper, and thus copper oxide is oxidizing agent. And hydrogen, which combines with non-metal oxygen and is oxidizing reaction, and the substance which is oxidizing reaction performs oxidizing reaction is reducing agent. So copper oxide is oxidizing agent and hydrogen is reducing agent. Now I will tell you about the effects of oxidation in our everyday life. Oxidation causes damage to metal as well as on our food. Oxidation which causes damage on metal is known as corrosion, and the oxidation which causes damage on our food is known as rancidity. Corrosion, damage on metal is known as corrosion, and damage on food is known as rancidity. So what is corrosion? Corrosion is a chemical process in which the substance is eaten up. The substance of which it is made is eaten up and forms porous and soft substance, or you can say the flaky substance, and it is a gradual process. It continues till the whole metal is eaten up. So it is very dangerous and it causes destruction and damage, you can say. So corrosion is causes damages to everyday life. And rusting is, what is rusting? Corrosion of iron is known as rusting. What is rusting? Corrosion of iron is known as rusting. Now, how rusting occurs? Rusting occurs when iron combines with oxygen and moisture present in the air and forms ferric oxide. See what happens. Ferric oxide is combined here with water, oxygen plus iron combines with oxygen and moisture present in the air to form ferric oxide or iron 3 oxide and XH2. I have written X because the molecule of water is not fixed. It can be on 6, 7, 8, anything. So I have given XH2. This is the reaction of iron with oxygen and water, and this is called rusting. Now how can we prevent rusting? Rusting can be prevented by oiling, greasing, painting, and also galvanization. You will learn all these in the chapter metal and non-metal. But what is galvanization? I am telling you in short. Galvanization means coating of iron metals with zinc. It is known as galvanization. And what happens when we paint, oil or grease the iron metals? It prevents oxidation and thus prevents metal from corrosion. Now rancidity. What is rancidity? I told you. Damage caused on food is known as rancidity. The fats and oil present in the food undergoes oxidation reaction and become a stale food or gives unpleasant smell and taste. This is called rancidity. In simple word, we call it the food is spoiled. So it is very harmful for our body, and thus we must prevent rancidity. How can we prevent rancidity? Rancidity can be prevented by various ways. If we keep the food in refrigerator. Refrigerator has low temperature, and low temperature retards oxidation. Thus food remains fresh for longer period. Now keep it away from light. If we keep the food away from light, then it retards oxidation reaction and thus prevents food from getting spoiled. Again, if we keep the food in airtight container. If we keep the food in airtight container, what happens? Oxygen cannot enter in the container and thus prevents oxidation. We have seen in the packets of Lay's and Kurkures what happens. The packages are made and nitrogen gas is inserted in it. Nitrogen gas is inert and prevents oxidation reaction and thus keeps the food means fats and oil present in the chips, Lay's, Kurkures, etc. and prevents from oxidation. And now the last method is by using antioxidants. Antioxidants. What are antioxidants? Antioxidants are reducing agents and they prevent oxidation. There are two main antioxidant agents. What are they? BHA and BHT. BHA means butylated hydroxy anisole. These are antioxidant agent. And BHT means butylated hydroxy toluene. Thus, these two are antioxidant agents. Now, I am giving you some equations. You have to tell which one is what type of reaction. Now, see what type of reaction is this. When calcium carbonate is heated up, it gives calcium oxide plus carbon dioxide. So, it is thermal decomposition reaction. Again, when calcium oxide reacts with water, it gives calcium hydroxide. It is combination reaction. Compound calcium oxide plus compound hydrogen oxide means water combines to give calcium oxide slack line. This is combination reaction. And first one is decomposition reaction. Decomposition by heat. And third one, when ferrous sulfate is heated up, ferric oxide plus sulfur dioxide plus sulfur trioxide is given up. Ferrous sulfate is green color because it contains water crystallization. Actually, the formula of FeSO4 is 2FeSO4 plus point. You have to put 0.7H2 heptahydrate. This when heated first becomes white in color, from green color to white color, and then when again it is heated, it gives red brown color ferric oxide. So what type of reaction is this? This is thermal decomposition. Heat is applied here, so thermal decomposition. Now ammonium chloride is heated. What does give? Ammonia plus hydrochloric acid. It is also thermal decomposition reaction. Now when calcium combines with oxygen, calcium oxide. So what type of reaction? Here metal calcium is combining with oxygen and thus it is giving calcium oxide. So it is a combination reaction. Another reactions are when sodium combines with water. What is happening? Sodium hydroxide. These equations will be given. You have to write what type of reaction it is and you have to understand it, analyze it and then write. Well, so it gives sodium hydroxide plus hydrogen. So it is the displacement reaction, as sodium is more reactive than hydrogen and displaces hydrogen from water, and sodium hydroxide plus hydrogen gas is evolved here. Okay. Now magnesium combining with calcium sulfate. It gives what? Magnesium sulfate plus copper. What type of reaction is this? Magnesium is more reactive metal than copper. So magnesium displaces copper from copper sulfate salt and forms magnesium sulfate plus copper. Copper is deposited on top of magnesium. So it is displacement reaction. Displacement takes place here. Again ammonium hydroxide. When ammonium nitrate gives nitrogen plus 2H2. What type of reaction is this? This is decomposition reaction. Ammonia's decomposition takes place by heat and gives nitrogen and water. So this is thermal decomposition reaction. And last one is when copper sulfate reacts with sodium sulfate, sodium hydroxide. Now what type of reaction is taking place? Reaction will be given. Copper hydroxide, first element is reacting with last one, the third one is reacting with second. So copper hydroxide plus sodium sulfate is formed. This is double decomposition reaction. I hope it is clear now. And now this chapter is completed today. And if you find any problem in this chapter, please comment below. I will try to answer as early as possible. And next chapter will be about acid, base and salt. Thank you.